Hello everybody, my name is Leah Wingfoot. Today we're going to be talking about business tech strategy. So recently we've been talking a lot about technology, right? And even if I don't talk about it, you guys all know about is important, right? Because here is simple. Business is always around us. Technology is always around us. And the bigger the company is, the more data will it store, the more information will it need to implement, and the more knowledge will it need to store, right? So that's when business technology comes in and information technology, IT comes in, right? And since the recent decades, IT have been bombarding with success. And so we could see that it's not always easy to adopt into new technology, right? Every day is improvement. In some last years, ChatGPT was never a thing, right? But these days, people use ChatGPT everywhere. In the recent years, when my mother showed me a picture of something of AI. I said, why did you believe that? But today I can't even notice the difference between an AI picture and a real picture. So you guys could see how technology has been improving so crazy in the recent decades, right? And so that is why it's so important for business to be able to take risk into investing into the technology. But everything in this world will have one thing called depreciation, which is basically when the product loses its value. So for example, 2 years ago, I buy iPhone 15 for, let's say, 20 million Vietnamese dong. But these years, I would just buy with 15 million Vietnamese dong. So you guys see, that's what I mean. It's not like really accurate, but you guys could see how it actually shows onto how does the word and prices depreciate so much. And so that is why it's always really important for us to be able to notice that out. And one other thing is that technology is the easiest type of product in the industry to ever have depreciation. So that means that if you are a technology company, you guys would know that this happens a lot, right? That maybe a product that you sell in the beginning when you first release the sales is going to be way more expensive than a product that is like an old model. So that is why it's very important for business to be able to spend wisely. So here are 3 steps for smart technology implement and to not be able to waste your money and then just change the products for the next few months. So first is you need to get the full and excessive training for the product before, during, and after you use the product, because every product they're going to be having something that's hiding secret from you, or maybe in a lot of products the description of how to use do not fully explain its full potentials, right? So you should be able to be first, the easiest thing that you should do is to be able to read the description, the how to use description, right? That is the easiest training that you could ever get. Secondly is that a lot of time when I buy new technology, I would go online, I'll watch reviews, I watch experiences of real people using it, so I will be able to see, okay, if they do have any like prescription for me, do they have any trigger warning for me, like is there anything red flag about this thing? So we should be able to know fully our product before we actually get to use this to its very peak and use this for the very last juicy job. Secondly is to be able to continuously update the trends, because you do not want to be using this product and then maybe a year later you see that it's out of fashion, right? You want to be something that it does not need to be too fashionista. That means that it does not always need to be fashionable. It does not always need to be the newest technology, but it should be something that's not too old, because you do not want to get back a lot, right? I have to admit, a lot of time technologies, there are still new models, but these new models barely have any innovation. But still, a lot of companies and a lot of times the innovations get better. Sometimes this innovation is just the same copy, but sometimes an innovation could increase a lot. Like for example, the iPhone, you guys see that, oh, there's not even that much of innovation. But from the iPhone 16 to the iPhone 17, you guys can see the whole different like what's that camera, and like from iPhone 30 to iPhone 14, you could see a whole new dynamic island. So you guys could see that there's the difference between that, right? And you do not just base on the appearance of it, because in business you do not need appearance. What you need is the ability of it, the possibility of it. And so you want something that works well, that does not cost too many electricity, but still works well, still is able to handle pressure, and still able to, for example, if a printer, that it should be able to print good, it does not waste too much ink, and that it's going to be able to connect to every device. And lastly, you need to be aware for the opportunity cost. Whenever we're talking about business, we always talk about taking risks, we always talk about trading opportunities, and that is where it comes in. Remember, not always will something cheap be good, and not always will something expensive be good. So be considerate about what you're buying, because that should be a big investment. You do not want to buy some, for example, between 500 printer versus between a good 500 printer versus 10 versus 100 normal printer, what would you buy? If you were looking in the long-term investment and you were able to calculate the opportunity cost, you would want to buy the thing that's actually good, right? Because for example, if we buy the normal 100 one, we still need to have other fees on fixing it, on continuously updating it, or even possibly buying a new one. So why not just buy a good one, right? So be able to be aware of the opportunity cost, and everything in business is about opportunity. Everything in business costs. So just be considerate about what you buy. Not always would a more be merrier, and not always would cheap things be good. So remember that, keep that in your mind. So today's here are I've offered for you guys 3 tips to start onto smart consumerism and on how to effectively implement the technology into your business. What's most important is that you understand your products. It does not need to be something fashionista or expensive, just the right thing. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.